What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Frontline podcast. I am your host, Tim Riley, aka Reese. We're going live right now on the Fantasy Frontline YouTube, and we're also on the Get Right Fantasy Network YouTube channel. I'm joined with Aaron St. Denis, aka the FF Mad Scientist, currently a working legend. If you haven't heard of him, you will soon. How you doing, Aaron?
Not bad. I'm staying busy. How about you?
Trying to stay busy, man. You know, cooking ribeyes and hanging out with the daughter today.
That's all that matters, man. That's the most important.
Yeah. Pregnant wife, so she's in her spring cleaning mood. Had me doing a bunch of stuff today.
You're only gonna get busier.
Oh yeah, man. But it's fun, stuff that needs to get done, prepping for summer.
Good luck. I don't know if that's my definition of fun, but
well, you're out in Florida, right? How's the summer out there?
No. I wish I couldn't be further from Florida. I am in Canada. Basically in Detroit.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Windsor, Ontario, Canada, right across from Detroit. It sucks here. It was 1 degree, maybe 2 degrees outside. It sucked.
We got Anthony Rasta in the house. He is the owner of the Get Right Fantasy Network. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for letting me on your channel. Nice to hear from you. Before we get into things, let me just go ahead and do this quick little promo. If you guys are into Underdog Best Ball, use promo code GETRIGHT. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Play responsibly. Also, use promo code GETRIGHT for a trophy smack. If you're looking for a ring, a belt, I think they're doing chains now too for your fantasy league, and you want to talk crap to all your league mates, use promo code GETRIGHT, and they'll give you a nice little discount over there. So we're getting into a fun kind of the part of the off season. Really, everything's a little. It fluctuates a lot.
It's chaos.
Absolute chaos. And so I just wanted to get into some dynasty trades and really talk about these players' values that are involved in these trades, and give our 2 cents and let people know what we think about it.
You said we're going to do some dynasty trades, and I was thinking to myself, I looked through a few, and it's so hard this time of year. You look through and you got to look at both sides of the deal. But each player you got to go through and think: did they change teams recently? Where do they draft in the first round? What direction are they going to go? There's so many factors in. I make a trade and I say, oh, okay, I like this side. And then my buddy'd say, oh, you forgot he got traded to this team or he signed here. It's so much movement. My brain hasn't quite processed. Adam Thielen to Carolina. Yeah.
Is that a thing for you? Are you excited about that?
No. He was the first one that came to mind for some reason.
Right.
My brain hasn't processed some of the new landing spots. So
I don't know how I feel about these running backs right now. I think these NFL teams are really telling, that they're just not. I don't know if they're not willing to incorporate these running backs, but they're certainly not willing to pay them. So playing time could be really up and down for these guys, and it's really hard to trust some of these guys on your fantasy teams.
Running backs have officially become disposable after their rookie contract, and pretty much every team is switching to running back by committee from the looks of it.
Exactly. Speaking of running backs, we want to talk about, getting into this first trade. Before we get into this first trade, why don't you go ahead and plug yourself up? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Why don't you go let everybody know, what you do, where they can find you?
I'm everywhere. Catch me on Twitter at FFMadScientist. You can catch me writing with Tim at theleaguewinners.com, KingFantasySports.com. You can catch me at DLF and at Player Profiler. As well, for you hockey fans, I also am on Stadium Rant now, doing specifically Detroit Red Wings content. Not a fantasy hockey writer. I love fantasy hockey, and hockey was my first love, and the Red Wings are always the team I like most. So I kind of volunteered. Stadium Rant didn't really have anyone writing hockey, and I just said, you know what, I'll take on some Red Wings if you need it. So I'm pretty much everywhere.
jack of all trades, man. I like it. I couldn't quite get into hockey myself, just a city kid from San Diego. So hockey
Canadian.
was
Canadian.
Anthony said, yeah, running back value is crazy weird right now, especially startup getting super good values on guys. Yeah, absolutely. How many startups have you done so far this offseason?
Just the one with you. I've done a lot of rookie drafts, but only actual startup drafts. I've done 2 startup drafts, but mocks, I've only done the one mock with you and Jet Fan the other day. I was amazed in that mock specifically, not just running back, but how far even the older wide receivers fell. Like the team we could have had with late, older guys, Cooper Kupp to the 5th, just
yeah.
Right now, I think you said it best. Right now is the time to draft an older win now team. The value's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing guys like Dalvin Cook going in the 8th rounder later in Superflex, of course. In the 8th rounder later, Zeke is not even getting touched until at least round 12.
Did he go in that? Yeah, I don't think we went 10 rounds. I don't think he went. No,
I've done quite a few startups, and it's a little wild right now. It's perfect time to be building win now rosters.
Exactly.
So let's absolutely let's get into this first trade. It's going to be a 12-team Superflex PPR league, and it is Breece Hall for Aaron Rodgers and DeAndre Swift.
Breece Hall.
What are your thoughts?
Don't even have to think about it. Those are 2 guys I'm out on. Breece Hall, I know the injury's scary. You might not get him back for, I don't know, half a year, end of the year. Even if he's JK ramp up, he might not be useful this year. But will Rodgers ever be useful again? And Swift, I don't know what value he has, if any. Monty in there, Breece Hall all day.
I'm 100% with you. They added some context in the trade, but really, I don't really care about the context in this specific instance. I'm taking Breece Hall all day, no matter what.
Did they add context trying to convince you that Breece Hall wasn't the right side, or
no? Well, it was more just context on teams. It said Rodgers receiving team has only Tannehill at quarterback, Dameon Pierce, Khalil Herbert, and Mixon at running back. Hall receiving team has Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook at running back, and Watson, Hurts, and Lance at quarterback.
So the good team's getting better, and the team with an old crappy quarterback's getting an older crappier quarterback.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That one's coming from Dallas Hyder, AKA Salad Galore on Twitter. The next one, we got a 10-team PPR Superflex. It's going to be DJ Moore, Trey Lance, and a 25 first for Justin Fields, a 25 second, and another 25 second.
So what do we got? The quarterbacks. Can you read that one more time?
Okay, it's going to be DJ Moore, Trey Lance, and a 25 first for Justin Fields and 2 25 seconds.
So the picks, you got to think the picks kind of cancel out. Would you rather the 2 seconds or the first? I don't think there's a huge difference. I'd probably take the first. Comes down to I would rather have Justin Fields over Trey Lance and DJ Moore. I mean, you got to assume Trey Lance is going to get at least one more shot somewhere, if not San Francisco. And if he hits his upside, you could really win on this getting DJ Moore. But I think I'd rather take the Justin Fields side.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. That's larger than I thought it was going to be.
It is quite large, but at least I can read it.
Yeah. For me, I'm all for the Justin Fields side. Trey Lance, I don't have a lot of confidence in him right now. I love Trey Lance, his ability. But realistically, I don't know what the hell Kyle Shanahan's thinking. They were talking about Brock Purdy being the leader of that locker room over there in San Francisco. I like DJ Moore a lot, but it's still relatively unknown. I think it's a pretty fair price. The 2 25 seconds, I'm taking the Justin Fields side.
Yeah, I think pretty easily. Trey Lance, I don't remember the exact stat, but it was something like he's thrown 500 passes since 2017 or 2018. It's something ridiculously low. There's nothing. He has no experience whatsoever. And even Brock Purdy, like that could all just be smoke screen for them to try and sell high on one of the two quarterbacks. But I don't understand why Lynch came out and made that statement in the middle of basically winter.
It
What
doesn't
purpose
make
does it
any
serve?
sense. None at all.
You're naming your quarterback in March? Why? It has to be a smokescreen for some kind of movement. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's the 49ers. It's Kyle Shanahan. I try not to dig too deep into it, but
Well, that's what he pulled when they drafted Lance. Wasn't he trading up to get Mac Jones? That's what the whole plan was. And then they took Trey Lance. So,
yeah. So we're both pretty fairly on the Justin Fields side. I guess it's kind of close, but not particularly to me.
Well, the picks, it would depend too. Like the 25 first, it depends. Like if it's a late first, an early first, and where the seconds are. But as a whole, 2 seconds comparable to a first in general.
25 is just too far out to tell.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't really tell where they're going to be. So right now, I would say the 25 is at its the first is at its probably lowest value. So it doesn't really sway it either way. You could always get them back later.
100% in agreement with you. Verdict, we're going Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next trade, we got Rashad Penny, a 24 first for Dameon Pierce and Cade Otton.
That's ugly.
They didn't put any context in here on whether it's a tight end premium. For me, the 24 first is the most valuable asset in the trade. And, it still remains to be seen what Dameon Pierce is going to do over there in Houston. Do they go ahead and draft another running back? Tampa Bay, I don't really want any parts of that offense at Tampa Bay. So
I think the pick swings it for me too. Penny and Pierce, I see similar in value. I think Penny's better, but he's not going to stay healthy. Pierce was good, but not great. He battled injuries too. And day 3 rookies, I love selling high on. So I say they're kind of a wash, the Penny and Pierce. And it comes down to, excuse me, I take the 24 first over Cade Otton pretty handily. So, yeah, Penny in the first.
What are your thoughts on Rashad Penny himself? His dynasty value right now. I know some people are pretty high, him being really the only running back in the Eagles' backfield worth a damn at the moment.
At the moment, I like it. I like him a lot more in redraft. I wouldn't mind giving him one shot. It all depends on the price. If I could get him for a late second, maybe mid to late second, even I don't know. I think I'd give him one more chance, but you've got to assume he's going to get injured. He's one of the reasons why I don't like buying running backs this early in the offseason. You never know if Gainwell's going to get more. He's much more explosive and electric. You've got to assume they draft at least a day 2 running back to complement him. And I think he would drop, his value to be cut in half, factor the injury. He's someone where if this is his situation, come training camp, I'd be a lot more in on him than I would be right now. There's too many potential things that could change between then and between now and the start of the season. Like I said, he could get hurt or they could bring someone else in.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say Sanders has gone to Carolina, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if they could still re-sign him, but no, I forgot. He went to Carolina.
Yeah, I actually like Miles Sanders a lot in Carolina. He's somebody I've been buying this entire offseason. I'm sending out anything from the 203. I'll send anything from the 203 later to just today. Oh, yeah. I think he's got the money. I think he got a 3-year, $25 million deal. If I'm not mistaken.
Go higher. I might go in this draft class.
I'm not doing a first.
I don't know. See, for me, I might go with the 111, 112. I find when you hit that 110 spot, it normally charbonnets your drop off there at 110. From 111 all the way to the end of the second, I find you're getting all the same players. They're all the same guys with the same upside. They don't seem to have an ADP that could go anywhere. So if the deal breaker, if I send a 203 in a bigger deal and the deal breaker for me was moving up from the 203 and giving up the 111 or the 112, I might just give up the late first for him.
I mean, I agree with you to an extent. I think 111 to about 204 or 205 is all the same tier of players. Once you hit Josh Downs, once you hit Downs, I'm completely in the same tier as these top end round 2 running backs, the Kendre Millers, I'm not going to say Tank Bigsby. I'm not very high on him.
Tucker, whoever.
Yeah.
Hyatt's even for wide receiver. I might make it to 112. 111, I've been getting a lot of Zay Flowers. I'm suddenly high on Zay Flowers, and I wasn't before. But
I'll do the 112. The 112 just to see who falls, right? Because at 111, I've seen Jordan Addison go out to 111 or Quentin Johnson.
That's late.
So it's worth a shot for me. So I'll do the 111 or the 112. 112 or later, and I'll take Miles Sanders. Let's move on to the next trade. We've got this is pretty easy for me as well. It's going to be AJ Brown for Greg Dulcich, Kenny Gainwell, a 24 first and a 24 second.
If it's a 23 first, maybe it's closer. And if
it's a 14 team super flex tight end premium.
I still think it's pretty easily AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Dulcich is what? Maybe a low end tight end 1 at best. Mm-hmm. Gainwell, we're hoping and praying. It didn't work out last year. The 24 first, who knows, in a 14 team league, that could be 14th overall pick. Who knows? And the second could be 28. So without much more context, obviously you can't know what the 24 pick would be. You could maybe estimate late or early, but I would say I'd go AJ Brown pretty easily.
I'm right there with you. It's just not nearly enough for AJ Brown, especially in a 14 teamer, to get that level of wide receiver. Yeah. Some people, I don't know. Maybe, his team is really thin and he really needs the depth, and I don't see it.
If it was a 23 first and you knew what the pick was going to be, maybe it makes it easier. Like you said it's super flex, right?
Yes.
So maybe if they know it's, I don't know, the 103, 104, and he really needs a quarterback, or if it's the 101 and it's Bijan, it's different. But for a 24, AJ Brown, I think all the way here. I don't even think I consider this.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, Anthony says, no way I'm getting off Arthur Juan Brown for that package. Right there with you, man. It's just not even.
He just wanted to type out his full name.
It's a good name.
And don't get me wrong. I cannot stand AJ Brown. I don't have him anywhere. No, I own. What's he? Year 4 right now? Year 4?
5, I believe.
Okay, so I owned him in a league, in all my main leagues, my most important, the ones I care about, highest buy-in, all the prestige, the bragging rights. I owned him everywhere as a rookie and in his second year and even into his third year. And every single time I needed him, he was either injured or put up a 2, and I just can't deal with it anymore. And last year, at some point, I started selling him everywhere. The talent's there. There's no more boom or bust. It's, 29 and then injured for 3 weeks, 25 and then puts up 2. He lets me down when I need him. I've been hurt too much, and I just can't do it. Me and AJ Brown need couples counseling. I'm just out.
I mean, I understand where your pain is coming from. I'm looking up his season last year. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks last year where he wasn't even a top 15 wide receiver. It can be pretty heartbreaking at times, a little bit inconsistent, but when you have 2 dynamic wide receivers that over in Philly, it's really hard to consistently produce.
That's wide receiver in general. So, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm down on AJ more than most, and it's still pretty easily the AJ Brown side for me. So if you're an AJ Brown truther, this is a smash for you on AJ Brown.
I like AJ Brown. He's a top 5 guy for me, but I don't know. It'd have to be really good value for me to come off of him, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anthony says, yeah, but he was behind Derrick Henry and Tannehill throwing to him. He is top 10 for me with Hurts and that offense. Yeah, I don't think it's, I wouldn't come off and say he's not a top 10 guy. He's still pretty in that top 5.
He's probably top 5 dynasty receiver.
He's just inconsistent, and it's for me that's what I value. I value consistency. I need you to put up, top 20 numbers every week. I don't care so much about the boom weeks, dropping 40 points. That's cool and awesome, but can you consistently give me 12 to 14 points? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and that was my problem with AJ. I found throughout the year he'd win me 1 week, maybe 2, but he'd lose me 3 weeks, like when I really needed. And it always seemed every year, my championship, my semifinal, the game I need to get into the playoffs, he's either hurt or just gone completely, with a 2 or a 3. Just killed me. He's hurt me too many times.
He wasn't too bad last year. He only had 3 games below 10 points. So he didn't hurt you too bad last year. But week 10 and week 11, he both had under 2 points. So that can be back-to-back is a little heartbreaking. Can definitely bring you off him a little bit more.
All right. I got one for you. How about this?
Let's do it.
12-team PPR Dynasty. 2 guys that we've mentioned already. Miles Sanders or David Montgomery?
Give me Miles Sanders. I do like David Montgomery a lot this year. I
take Miles Sanders as well, and the poll on Twitter says 61% in favor of Sanders.
61?
I like that there too. Yeah,
that's about right.
Sanders got backing him up? Foreman's gone. Hubbard still there?
Foreman is.
Foreman went to Chicago, didn't he?
Hubbard.
Yeah, it's Hubbard there still.
Yep.
And then Montgomery's got a split with Swift. That alone, I'll take Sanders.
Are you high on Swift this year?
No, I haven't been. I've been out on Swift for the little over a year. He's another one where I can't deal with players who are frequently injured.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, he comes in and he's another one. He's burned me too many times. I had Swift in a lot of leagues for 2 or 3 years because the upside was always there and he seemed to always have an injury discount. But with the injury discount comes the injuries. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm out on him too. At current cost, anyways.
Okay, here's a pretty good one. I think you'll like this one. Superflex, tight end premium. This is going to be Josh Allen for Dak Prescott, Cortland Sutton, and the 101.
Oh, you almost had me completely out, and you drew me back in with that 101. So we got Josh Allen for Dak and Cortland. I don't think is anywhere even remotely close. Does Bijan close the gap is what I'm thinking. I don't think he does. I would need, Dak's not the issue. The Cortland Sutton part's the issue. If I got a receiver more in the range of, you throw that into Dak and Devonta Smith in the 101, I think I make that deal. But Sutton, I don't think I can do it with Sutton as the receiver.
I'm doing it. I'm taking it. Dak is the most underrated quarterback right now. I've seen him. He should be a 1-2 turn quarterback taken.
Yeah. Him and Kyler.
Drafts. He should be. He's not. He's fallen to the back end of the second round. And so I will take 2 turn picks over the 103.
Him and Kyler
102, 103.
Yeah, him and Kyler are really undervalued, but I don't know if I can do it. It's a huge downgrade from Allen to Dak.
Okay, if you were in a startup, would you take the 112 and 201 for the 102?
The 112 and 201 for the probably, if you put it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I probably would.
Anthony says thoughts on Justin Jefferson scoring nothing in week 17 the past 2 years.
That came to mind too when we were talking about AJ and his inconsistencies, but that's not like he's not nearly as inconsistent. He has like 5 or 6 solid wide receiver 1 games in a row and then 1 dud. So, you're right. He's had 2 really bad outings when it mattered most, but that's largely an outlier. I don't see how that can continue.
Look.
You've had his absolute worst week of the season at the absolute worst time, and I think that's just bad luck.
I agree. It sucks. But you look at his numbers last year: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 finishes as the wide receiver 4 or better for Justin Jefferson. That's crazy.
With wide receiver, volatility, what it is, that's why you just have to throw out that 1 week where, it cost you your championship probably, but you're probably also in the championship because of him. So
right.
It's just one of those things and hope it works out next time.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you got to deal with, I don't think it's going to consistently happen as long as Minnesota is in the playoff race. I'm still putting Justin Jefferson in my lineup.
Thielen gone now too. Dalvin Cook getting older.
Mm-hmm.
He can only get better.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson is in 1 QB. He's my 101, and it's not particularly close. You wanna get into another trade?
I got one. If you don't have one up,
I don't have it up yet.
Okay, 12 team. You could type yours in while I'll read one off here. 12 team super flex full PPR. Do you want Olave and Burks or Waddle and the 204? So the 204, we're looking at the range we discussed earlier. You got Kendre Miller, Hyatt,
right.
Bigsby.
Run it back again.
Olave and Burks or Waddle and 204.
Give me Olave and Burks.
I think so too. I don't think the difference between Olave and Waddle. Waddle I'd take over Olave, but not by much. And I'm pretty sure I'd take Burks pretty handily over the 204.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit overrated at the moment. I love him, and I think he's a great wide receiver, but I think he's valued in the top 5 range, and that's just I don't quite have him there.
That poll was more one-sided than I expected. 72% went with us.
72?
72 for the Olave side.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
people are crazy high on Chris Olave right now, and for good reason. He finished top 25 last year with Andy Dalton throwing to him.
Okay, so this is going to sound crazy. I love Olave. I'm a Saints fan, as you can see behind me. Andy Dalton to Derek Carr, lateral move. We do this every year where we take
what?
Specifically with the Colts every year where we take. I get it. He's not washed up to the level of what was it, Wentz, Ryan, and Phillip Rivers, but I don't think this is probably a small upgrade. I don't think
it is a small upgrade.
I don't think he's a huge upgrade. I think Olave is what he was last year, slightly better maybe.
Well, let me put it in this context for you. I'm pretty sure I said this, when I was on your podcast the other day, but Derek Carr has had somebody finish in the top 12 at their position, top 10 at their position for the last 4 years. We're talking Hunter Renfrow.
Devontae Adams.
No, only 1 year.
Yeah.
Renfrow, Adams, and Waller twice.
Oh, that's true. I just the one thing that's helped him increase for me recently, I'm pretty sure Kamara is going to be gone a significant amount of time, and not like we didn't see it coming, but apparently Michael Thomas is already unhealthy, so
yeah,
no surprise
I'm
there.
So out on Michael Thomas. Yeah. Them boys, he's part of the Get Right Network. He is also in one of my listener leagues. Shout out to him. What's going on, brother? Okay, I got my next trade up. You ready? This is a good... I don't think... Whatever. We'll go for it. This is a 12-team super flex, and it's going to be Cooper Kupp, Daniel Jones, and KJ Osborne for Trevor Lawrence in the 107.
So I like to break these down. Trevor Lawrence, I think we'd agree we both take over Daniel Jones. I don't know if it's by a lot, but
what?
I don't know. I don't know. Dynasty, Trevor Lawrence is what? QB 6?
6. Yes.
Daniel Jones, I think I have as a low end QB 1, maybe 11 or 12. Maybe high end 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But so Lawrence, we take over Daniel Jones. So would you rather the 107, which we said is typically what? Addison, Quentin Johnston, or Cooper Kupp?
I'm taking
or Cooper Kupp and KJ. Sorry, I don't think KJ doesn't factor in for me.
I think he's a starter next year, so he kind of factors in. I'm taking the 107.
I am taking. Oh, Cooper Kupp is just getting up there. I think I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence in the 107 as well, with Kupp's age being the deciding factor. But
yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is just too good. I think that upgrade to Trevor Lawrence is just too much.
Yeah, see, I'm not as low on Daniel Jones as you apparently, but I still think I go the Trevor Lawrence side. I have them closer together, I think.
302. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. You got another one to pull up? Well, let me see.
All right. Yeah, I got one here.
Them boys says, tell me 15 quarterbacks better than Carr. I can name 30 better than Dalton. Hey, he's not wrong.
15 quarterbacks better than Carr. For fantasy, we're talking fantasy here, or
fantasy.
Okay, what's we got? Dak, Jalen. I'm taking Daniel Jones. That's 3 in the NFC East alone.
Would you rather have Geno or Derek Carr?
Geno.
Okay. Would you rather have Russ?
Pass. Probably Russ.
Okay. Would you rather have Pickett?
No. Carr.
Okay. Mac.
Carr, I think.
I'm taking Mac, actually. I think he does a lot better with Bill O'Brien over there this year. So it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of, good quarterbacks out there. And Derek Carr just kind of finds himself in really the middle of the pack. Like a lower end of the middle of the pack.
Well, so they're upgrading from a QB3 to a QB2. It's a small upgrade.
But it's enough of an upgrade.
I guess.
He says, T-Law 107, easy. I got one more for you. Well, okay. I got a few more, but we got Brandon Ayuk and Derrick Henry for Antonio Gibson, the 204, 302, and 304.
I think this one depends on the spot my team is in. If I'm a contender, just give me Henry and Ayuk, and I'm going to go for it. Otherwise, kid leaving the door open. Otherwise, I think I'm going to take the picks. I'm not real high on Gibson, mainly because the Commanders don't seem to be high on Gibson. And I get that those picks are largely throwaways, but I'm not all that high on Ayuk. Like I said, give me Henry, I think, in a contender, and give me a basket full of picks otherwise, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Ayuk because I'm pretty low on Debo. I think this is kind of selling low on both of these players. So
yeah,
I'm taking
the picks are so low it doesn't help, but
right.
Like I said, in a win now or a contender, I'm for sure taking the Henry side. Even in a rebuild, I'm
I
just
think
never
you
a
can
fan
sell
of
Henry. I
Sorry,
think
go
you can
ahead.
sell Henry for a first midseason.
Okay, so maybe in that scenario, you're right. Maybe I take the Henry side either way with the hopes of flipping him. But if I'm in a rebuild, there's no way Henry ends the season on my roster. But yeah, you
Yeah.
think even if worst comes to worst, you should be able to get, like I said, that 112 or the early second for him.
Mm-hmm. Right there with you. You got another one in the bag.
This one's just a straight up receiver for receiver. What do we have? Doesn't say if it's PPR or half or anything, but it's Chris Olave and his newly upgraded quarterback, or DK Metcalf and the quarterback with the quarterback I took over him. So Olave or Metcalf is what that was.
Olave.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I don't necessarily believe Olave is going to be better than DK Metcalf, but off sheer hype and community value, I'll take Olave.
Yeah.
I think you can sell Olave for more than what he's worth right now.
Yeah, he's going really high. How about Diggs or Christian Kirk in the 110?
Give me Kirk in the 110, man.
Yeah, even if you're in a contender,
Yeah.
you don't just keep Diggs. You'd rather have Kirk and say Charbonnet or Addison, something like that.
If I need the depth, right? If I need to fill another flex spot on my roster, yes.
But I mean, if you're making a trade like that, you're probably not worried about the depth. You're picking 110. If you earned that pick, you were probably a top 4 team.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs, if Diggs is your piece to go for it, maybe I make the deal. I don't know. It's close either way. But I think I'd rather have Diggs.
I'm trying to think about it in terms of startup value right now, and Diggs is going around the fourth. Going
I
around
feel like
the fourth.
third or fourth is fair, yeah.
Christian Kirk somewhere around the sixth. I think you can get him 6th or 7th.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. I guess if we're thinking in startup value, it makes sense. I just think people are severely undervaluing Christian Kirk due to Calvin Ridley coming on. I love what it does for the Jaguars as an offense, but realistically, the guy's been out of the NFL for long enough that it warrants a little drawback. He's 29 years old, coming back into the league. He hasn't played in a whole year. I'm sure he's kept his body right, but Christian Kirk was
factor him in.
Christian Kirk was a wide receiver, top 12 wide receiver last year.
Yeah.
Severely underrated to me, and I think he just kind of continues what he was doing in that offense. I think you'll see guys like Zay Jones and Evan Ingram take the hit for the target share, but I think Christian Kirk still gets his.
I don't know. Like I said, I think it depends on where my team is. Win now, give me Diggs. Otherwise, probably give me Kirk in the pick, but it's close.
Yeah.
Just a sec. Let's see who won that one. Oh, that one was closer than I thought. 62% for Diggs.
Okay. That's fair. 62 is, yeah, that's about right. I think people are really going off name value at that point. We're talking, what's Diggs, 29 years old?
I feel like he's younger than you think. I feel like he's probably 27, 28, but I don't know. I'm trying to look this up.
I think he'll be going into the 29 season or a 29-year-old season.
Could be. I could get this stupid thing to load, but all right, you got one there?
I do. So it's going to be DJ Moore and the 102 for the 101 and a 24-second.
Oh, sorry, you were right. Diggs was 29. And you want to run that one by me again? It was Diggs 29. You're right. DJ Moore in the 102. So you're trading down a pick. You're trading down a pick to acquire DJ Moore for a heap of garbage next year. Did you say super flex? I missed that part.
Yes, this is super flex.
This is dependent. I would say if it's in super flex, Probably, because then it's a quarterback in DJ Moore. The only thing would be is if Bijan's if a running back is the missing piece to my team's puzzle, I might just take Bijan if he can complete the team here for me. But I'm pretty sure I'd take whatever quarterback is at 102 and DJ Moore, because the 24-second is essentially useless. Well, at this point, anyways.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking DJ Moore. It's worth a shot in the dark to trade back. You know, if your team isn't ready to compete, if you didn't, if you earned that 101, likely your team isn't ready to compete, and this is an excellent chance to trade back, acquire some extra value, take a shot on DJ Moore, and you know, just hope he gains value. So I'm with you. I'm taking DJ Moore to 102.
That's another very good point, though. I never think of that because the one league where I do have the 101, I didn't earn it. I traded for it a couple years ago.
If I'm trading for it and I'm still got a good roster, I'm keeping the 101.
Yeah, but no, your point though was if you had the 101 and you earned it by being the worst team, you probably could use the depth. But if you're a rebuilding team who's a couple years from competing, Bijan's not really the piece you need.
Yeah,
you'd be better off with a young quarterback and a young receiver than a running back with a 5-6 year shelf life in best case scenario.
I don't mind taking Bijan and holding him for a little bit, but right now, I'm not really trading the 101 unless I get an offer like this.
Yeah,
we're talking.
It's a good one though.
We're talking adding a 5th, 6th round startup pick to move back half a round. I would say Bijan's going at the turn of a startup. The 102, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud is going, I would say, back middle.
What did he do in the one we went yesterday? Yesterday, what? Bijan? Was it yesterday or the day before? Anyways, Bijan went what? End of the first? I feel like beginning of the second. And I feel like that we had 2 quarterbacks in Stroud and Young both go mid to late second. So, yeah, you're probably right. A half a round at worst.
I think they go around like that 2-9, 2-8 area.
Yeah, I feel like that's where both of them went.
I got one more good one. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I got one more. I'm dying to hear your thoughts on it.
Let's see.
This is going to be Michael Pittman, the 110, 24 first, 207, and 210 for Jamar Chase.
Okay, so side B is Jamar Chase. Let's run through side 1 again. Pittman and a whole bunch of picks I heard.
Yeah. All right. I'm typing it up right now.
Yeah, I figured you would. That's probably best up. Pittman and a cluster of picks for Jamar Chase.
So it's going to be Pittman, the 110, 24 first, 207, and 210 for Jamar Chase.
Okay. 207 and the 210. They're 24, 207. The seconds are 24 picks?
No, they're 23.
Yep. So this is a deep class. So you could get yourself, if you needed a tight end or a running back, there's lots in that range. The 110 is Charbonnet, Addison, Johnston. So let's assign some names here. So you got Pittman, call it Addison, Pittman, a random 24 first with, say, Tucker and tight end of your choice for Chase. Contender, I go Chase. Anything else, I probably just take all the assets.
I think at this point of the year, you really got to go with the pick side. I love Jamar Chase, and I love, what he brings to your team. But Pittman, production-wise, I don't think you're getting that drastic of a down tier. You know what I mean?
No.
The 110, you're looking at Charbonnet, Addison.
Yeah.
Or Quentin Johnston, either or.
Yeah.
24 first, that's a shot in the dark. And I'll take an extra shot at Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams. If not, I'm pretty sure you can combine 224 first to get into that top 3, depending on where your 24 first and that 24 first lands. The 207, 210, you're kind of looking at like Tajay Spears. I think you can get him, or like Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
We're looking at adding a lot of really good assets.
Yeah. I don't think you obviously aren't adding anything in the same caliber as Chase, unless that 24 first turns into something really good. But you're adding a lot of solid pieces here. You're adding a lot of pieces that are probably startable at some point for a wide receiver 1 or 2 overall. Like I said, if my lineup is stacked and I can take a shot at it with Chase, I think I keep Chase. But unless I'm really sure that this is, I'm a top 2 team, I think I load up on the players and picks.
Yeah. If you're one of the top teams, realistically, you're just not trading Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
If you're one of probably the top 5 teams, you're not trading Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Anthony says, "Damn, I think I still want Chase," and I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I just think
scenario.
I think if there's like 5 guys that are untradeable for me. I would say in Superflex, there's about 5 guys.
Jefferson and Chase.
Chase,
Superflex. Then you add in the 3 quarterbacks. I think 2 quarterbacks at least.
Yeah, I would say Mahomes,
Allen, Hurts, and the 2 receivers.
Yep. That's it.
5. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think about it. You don't make this trade if you're a top 3 team in the league.
No,
you just don't. There's absolutely no reason to trade away what is Jamar Chase, like 23 years old, and he's the wide receiver 2 in the league.
Yeah. Yep. Tied to Joe Burrow for all of eternity. Yep. And with the Higgins,
Burrow's getting that contract here soon.
Yeah, Higgins is, he seems like he's going to be a struggle to keep for a long term. So you never know. That could clear up. Tyler Boyd's getting older. If Higgins were to move on and go be the one somewhere else, Chase could be in Justin Jefferson territory by himself.
So. Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm going to let you out of here, man. I know you're a busy man, busy father, got things to do. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. We always have fun when we link up. Do you want to plug yourself up one more time before we get out of here?
Oh, thanks for having me. Always good. You had to have me on because the other night I did an episode of my show with you on it. So once again, I've done more episodes of your show than of my own. So thanks for that. Like I said before, you can find me on Twitter at FFMadScientist. You can find my work at The League Winners, King Fantasy Sports Player Profiler, or DLF. And you can find my rankings on Fantasy Pros under expert platform. That's it. I'm good.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run through a few more and I'm going to let you get out of here.
Yep.
All right, brother. All right. Peace. All right. That was Aaron St. Dennis, good friend of mine. Of course, we write together over at the League Winners. Give him a follow if you get a chance when you get on Twitter. I got one more. It's going to be Daniel Jones and the 107 for DJ Moore, AJ Dillon, Mac Jones, and the 204. This it's a pretty tough one for me. I really like, off the top of my head, I like the Daniel Jones side. But the more I look at it, I'm taking Mac Jones, DJ Moore, AJ Dillon, and the 204. There's just depth pieces, and I really like what Mac has got going on over in New England this year. I think Bill O'Brien, as a real offensive coordinator, we're not looking at Matt Patricia anymore. I think he's got a definitely shot to take that next step. He's not going to be, a top 10 guy, but I think we're definitely going to see him fringe quarterback 1. I think he could be around the quarterback 14, somewhere in that area. But Boys, what's going on, man? Monty, the 308, 310, or the 204? That's a tough one, man. I really like Monty this year. It really depends on who's available at 204. I'll probably take the 204 just because we don't know, what the Lions are going to do. I do like that 204 area. Pretty much, I was saying earlier, the pretty much the 205 to about the 112, 111. They're kind of all the same tier of players, so I don't mind taking the 204 in that one. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. I thank you guys again for stopping by, hanging out with me and Aaron, and running through a couple of these trades. For now, take care. Appreciate you guys over at Get Right. I appreciate you, Anthony, aka Rasta, Classic Mike, and them. Make sure you're following them. They got the Friday night mocks coming soon. Participated in one so far, and I did not do great. But we're still working off the rust, and we're still getting there. I'll advance. I'll be in the finals, before long. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter at Frontline_FF. Give me a follow on Twitter at FF_Rees. And I am proud and excited to announce, I'm going to be working with Dynasty Football Factory, making content over there for them, articles, a couple video article kind of things, some video content, as well as I'm still working at the FF League Winners, writing articles over there. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support, and have a good night. Peace.